have been really invested in books lately. With the 1-year anniversary of COVID and just generally the last 6 or 7 months feeling like things haven't been changing or that anything has really been happening for me, I've really been craving some form of escapism, and books have become my coping mechanism for that. As a result, I've been buying a lot of books, but I don't actually have a place to put them quite yet. And beyond just buying books, I've also been spending a lot of time thinking about books. I have been creating a book backlog, I designed a book curation system, and I've also been watching a lot of booktube videos. Inspired by those videos, I've decided that I want to capture my current book obsession in video format, and this is that video. This video will probably consist of 4 or 5 parts, I haven't decided yet, but it'll basically be a mishmash of all this bookish stuff that I've been doing lately. Okay, that went well. First things first, I'm going to be doing a book haul of all the books that I recently bought. The first book is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This is the collector's edition, so it's really pretty. I bought this book because I read Six of Crows last month and absolutely loved it. And there's a TV show coming out with both Six of Crows and Shadow and Bone in April, so I thought it would be good to read this book as well before the TV show comes out. And also because I bought the 2 collector's editions of Six of Crows and they look very lonely, so I wanted to buy a third one. Next, we have Lore by Alexandra Bracken. This is a YA fantasy that takes a spin on Greek gods, and I really enjoyed it. I also think the cover is really cool. So that's that. Next is 10,000 Doors of January by Alex Harrow. I started the sample of this book and enjoyed it, and I read another book of hers that I really liked, so I decided I would get this. Then we have House in the Cerulean Sea by T.L. Clune. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but this has been a very recommended book. Next is The View from Saturday, which is actually a book I read in 5th grade. And while I was thinking about which books are really important to me, this one was one of the top ones on my list, so I decided to buy a physical copy because I didn't have one. Then we have Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. Also, isn't this cover beautiful? I have been obsessed with pretty books. I mean, I'm always obsessed with pretty books, but as the obsession with books generally has increased, I've generally also increased my obsession with pretty books. I was recommended this by a colleague actually, and I, again, really enjoyed the snippet sampler that I got, so I'm excited for this one. Then I have A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. This was recommended to me by 2 of my really good friends who generally I have similar reading tastes to. Then I have 2 of Sally Rooney's books, Normal People and Conversations with Friends. I read Normal People after watching the TV show because I really enjoyed the TV show and loved the book so much I decided to also buy Conversations with Friends. Last but not least, I bought Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Leonie Taylor. This is actually the first book of a trilogy, and although I enjoyed this book, I didn't enjoy it enough to buy the trilogy, yet I caught myself thinking back to the characters after I finished reading it in ebook format, enough that I wanted to be able to pick it up off a bookshelf and flip back to certain sections, so I bought this physical copy. And that's the end of my book haul. Those are all the books that I bought in the last week and a half. This is where I currently keep my books. These are all the books that I already had before moving in, and these are the other books that I have bought since moving in but haven't organized. And now that I have even more books to add, this shelf really needs some reorganization so that all my books can fit here. So this is the new bookshelf. I ended up dividing the books into two sections. This is my fiction and fantasy section, and then that is my nonfiction section or short story collection. Across each section, the books are in alphabetical order by author's last name. I've been doing this thing where I've been making bookmarks for the books that I really enjoyed reading or really had an impact on me while I read them. So I want to share a few of those. And lastly, because I'm a big nerd, I want to share some summary statistics of my reading habits for the first 3 months of 2021.